The quantum anomaly detector aboard the Galactic Federation's most advanced research vessel, the Celestial Seeker, registered something unprecedented. Chief Scientist Zixra's elongated fingers trembled as they verified the readings for the fourth time. The signal's signature was impossible. It suggested someone had achieved controlled quantum entanglement across light years of space. High Commander, Zixra's melodious voice carried an unmistakable tremor. You need to see this immediately. High Commander Venthor glided across the bridge, her crystalline form catching the light from nearby stars. The Federation's leading scientists had long theorized about the possibility of quantum communication, but no civilization had ever managed to achieve it. The energy requirements alone were astronomical. Source: Venthor's question was sharp, precise. A peripheral system. High Commander. Sector 7249. Planet designation: Earth. The bridge fell silent. Earth. The Federation had documented the planet centuries ago. A Class C developing world with primitive nuclear technology and limited space exploration capabilities. They'd been scheduled for regular observation, but nothing more. No one had bothered to update their file in decades. Impossible, Venthor stated flatly. Their technology level was nowhere near this advanced during our last survey. The signal is undeniable, High Commander. And there's more. Zixra's appendages danced across the holographic interface. The quantum signature suggests they're not just communicating. They're manipulating spacetime itself. The implications were staggering. The Federation's own attempts at quantum manipulation had all failed spectacularly. Their best minds had concluded it was theoretically possible, but practically unattainable. Yet here was evidence that a supposedly primitive species had somehow cracked the code. Prepare for immediate transition, Venthor ordered, and alert the High Council. They'll want to know about this. The Celestial Seeker's engines hummed to life as it prepared for faster-than-light travel. But even as they made preparations, another signal caught their attention. This one was different. A simple radio transmission, broadcast on all frequencies. To the approaching vessel, a calm human voice echoed through the bridge. Welcome to Earth space. We've been expecting you. Venthor's crystalline form flickered with surprise. Their stealth systems were supposed to be undetectable. Yet somehow, these humans had not only detected them but had known they were coming. How did they? She began, but was cut off by another transmission. We understand you've detected our quantum network, the human voice continued. We'd be happy to discuss it with you, though I suspect you'll find our other breakthroughs equally interesting. Other breakthroughs. Venthor exchanged glances with Zixra. The casual confidence in the human's voice was unsettling. This wasn't how primitive species were supposed to act when contacted by the Federation. Open a channel, Venthor commanded. Let's see what we're dealing with. The holographic display shimmered to life, revealing the human female seated in what appeared to be a surprisingly advanced command center. She wore a simple uniform with no obvious rank insignia, but her bearing suggested authority. I'm Director Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Initiative, she said with a slight smile. And yes, before you ask, we've known about the Federation for quite some time. We've just been busy. Busy. Venthor's voice carried a hint of disbelief. Your species was barely capable of reaching your own moon when we last observed you. Ah, yes. About that. Director Chen's smile widened slightly. We found that being underestimated can be quite advantageous. Would you like a demonstration of what humanity has been up to while you weren't watching? Before Venthor could respond, their sensors detected a massive energy surge. Space itself seemed to ripple around their ship, and suddenly, they were surrounded by vessels that hadn't been there a moment before. The ships were sleek, unlike anything in the Federation's database, and their energy signatures were off the charts. This is just a small sample, Chen continued calmly. We've made some interesting discoveries about the nature of reality while you were away. Perhaps it's time for the Federation to update its files on Earth. Venthor stood motionless, her crystalline form processing this dramatic shift in the galaxy's power dynamics. In a single moment, everything the Federation thought it knew about technological progression and species development had been upended. The humans hadn't just surprised them. They had fundamentally changed the game. And somehow, Venthor suspected this was only the beginning of the revelations Earth had in store for the galaxy. The Federation Council chamber was in chaos. The holographic displays showed the Earth fleet surrounding the Celestial Seeker, their ships displaying technology that shouldn't exist. The Council members, representatives of the galaxy's most advanced civilizations, argued among themselves as they tried to process this unprecedented situation. Supreme Counselor Kaizen, their crystalline form pulsing with agitation, called for order. How did we miss this? An entire species developing quantum manipulation technology under our watch. High Commander Venthor's report had sent shockwaves through the Council. The humans hadn't just developed advanced technology. They'd done it in complete secrecy, bypassing what the Federation had believed to be immutable stages of technological development. The humans request a formal meeting. Venthor's holographic form announced. Their director Chen says they have a proposal for the Federation. A proposal? Kaizen's form flickered with skepticism. They're in no position to make demands. With respect, Supreme Counselor, Venthor's voice was careful, measured. I believe you should see this before making that assessment. The chamber's main display activated, showing a live feed from Earth. Director Chen stood in what appeared to be an ordinary conference room, but something about the scene felt off. The council members watched in stunned silence as she picked up what looked like a simple glass of water. We understand the Federation's concerns. Chen began, her voice clear and confident. You're wondering if we're a threat. If we'll upset the careful balance you've maintained in this galaxy. So let me show you something. She lifted the glass, and suddenly the feed split into multiple views. The same scene from different angles, different rooms, different locations across Earth. In each one, Chen performed the exact same action at the exact same moment. We've learned to manipulate quantum reality on a macro scale. All the Chen spoke in perfect unison. What you're seeing isn't a trick or a transmission delay. We exist in multiple states simultaneously when needed. It's just one of many applications we've discovered. The council chamber erupted in murmurs. Such technology was theoretical at best. Even the most advanced Federation species had failed to achieve anything close to this level of quantum manipulation. Impossible, one council member whispered. The energy requirements alone. Actually, Chen continued, now speaking from just 1 feet again, energy requirements are quite minimal once you understand the underlying principles. We found that the universe works quite differently than previously assumed, which brings me to our proposal. She set down the glass, and the camera panned out to reveal what appeared to be a simple metal cube sitting on the table. The Federation has spent millennia gathering knowledge, establishing trade routes, maintaining order. We respect that. We're not here to disrupt your system. The cube began to hover, then split apart into intricate geometric patterns that danced in the air. Instead, we propose a partnership. You have experience managing galactic civilization. We have new perspectives on how the universe works. Together, we could advance both our species far beyond what either could achieve alone. Kaizen's crystalline form pulsed with conflicting emotions. The humans weren't acting like a newly discovered species should. They weren't asking for admission into the Federation. They were offering an equal partnership, backed by technological capabilities that defied explanation. And if we decline? Kaizen asked carefully. Chen's expression remained pleasant, but her eyes carried a hint of steel. Then we'll continue our development independently. But consider this. What you've seen today represents technology we developed decades ago. We're sharing it now as a gesture of good faith. Ask yourselves, what else might humanity have discovered while you weren't watching? The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. The Federation had always maintained control through technological superiority. But now they faced a species that had not only caught up, but potentially surpassed them. and done so without anyone noticing. "We'll need time to consider your proposal," Kaizen said finally. "Of course," Chen nodded, "but not too long if you don't mind. You see, we've detected signals from other galaxies, interesting signals, and we're rather curious about investigating them." She smiled. "We just thought we'd check in with our neighbors first." The transmission ended, leaving the council in stunned silence. They had come expecting to establish authority over a developing world. Instead, they found themselves facing a decision that could reshape the future of galactic civilization itself. While the Federation Council debated Earth's proposal, they dispatched their most skilled observers to gather more information about this puzzling species. What they discovered only deepened their unease. Administrator Lux Sen reviewed the latest reports in the Federation's secure archive chamber, each new piece of information more disturbing than the last. The humans hadn't just developed quantum technology. They'd revolutionized multiple fields of science simultaneously, and done so with remarkable speed. "Our analysis of their orbital installations is complete," reported Science Officer Mira Vex, her holographic form shimmering with barely contained excitement. "They're not just research stations or defense platforms. Well, you need to see this yourself." The main display activated, showing what appeared to be an ordinary space station orbiting Earth. But as they watched, the station's surface began to shift, panels rearranging themselves like living metal, forming new configurations with fluid grace. "Programmable matter," Miravex explained. "They've developed materials that can reorganize their atomic structure on command. These stations can transform into whatever they need: research labs, manufacturing facilities, defensive platforms, or even ships." Lux Sen's tendrils curled in concern. "How long have they had this capability?" "Based on our analysis of orbital debris, at least 30 Earth years. And that's not all." Miravex brought up another display. "We've detected unusual energy signatures throughout their solar system. It appears they've been conducting large-scale experiments with space-time itself." The displays showed a network of structures scattered throughout Earth's solar system, each pulsing with energy that defied conventional physics. They were connected by streams of particles that seemed to ignore the normal rules of space and time. "They're not just studying the universe," Miravex continued. "They're rewriting its laws. Our scientists are still trying to understand how they've achieved this level of control over fundamental forces." A new alert flashed across the display. Another transmission from Earth. Director Chen appeared, but this time she wasn't in a conference room. She stood in what appeared to be a vast chamber filled with swirling lights and impossible geometries. "I trust your observers have been learning interesting things about us," Chen said, her voice carrying a hint of amusement. "But I thought you might appreciate a more direct demonstration of what humanity has achieved." The chamber around her shifted, the walls seeming to fold in on themselves, revealing glimpses of other places, other worlds, through tiers in reality itself. "We've learned that space and time are more flexible than anyone imagined. Distance is largely a matter of perspective, once you understand the right principles. You're creating stable wormholes," Lux Sen breathed, forgetting for a moment that this was a recorded transmission. "Among other things," Chen nodded. "But more importantly, we've learned that the universe is far stranger and more wonderful than anyone suspected. There are layers to reality that your scientists haven't even begun to theorize about." The chamber shifted again, and suddenly they were looking at something that strained the limits of comprehension. Structures that seemed to exist in more dimensions than space should allow, energy patterns that danced between possibilities. "This is why we're reaching out now," Chen continued. "We've detected something out there, beyond the edges of known space, something that will concern all of us. We could face it alone, but we believe cooperation would benefit everyone." The transmission ended, leaving Lux Sen and Miravex in stunned silence. The implications were staggering. Humanity hadn't just advanced technologically, they'd fundamentally altered their understanding of reality itself. "How do we respond to this?" Miravex asked quietly. They're offering cooperation, but they're showing us that they don't need our cooperation. Lux Sen finished. They're sharing these capabilities as a courtesy, not out of necessity. She paused, her form flickering with concern. And what did she mean about something beyond known space? Before Miravex could respond, another alert flashed across their screens. Multiple Federation sensors were detecting massive energy disturbances throughout known space. Something was happening, something unprecedented. As they watched, the fabric of space-time itself seemed to shiver, as if reality was being gently reshaped by unseen hands. The humans were doing something big, and the Federation could only watch and wonder what this remarkable species would reveal next. The Federation's Grand Assembly Hall had never been so full. Representatives from every member species crowded the circular chamber, their attention fixed on the central platform, where Director Chen stood beside Supreme Counselor Kaizan. The energy disturbances detected throughout space had grown stronger, and now humanity was ready to explain why. What we've detected, Chen began, her voice carrying clearly through the vast space, is a breach in the fundamental structure of our universe. Something is trying to break through from elsewhere. She gestured, and a holographic display materialized above the platform, showing a complex web of energy patterns spanning the galaxy. At various points, the web showed distortions, tears in the fabric of reality itself. We first noticed the signs 3 Earth decades ago, Chen continued. It's why we accelerated our research into quantum mechanics and spatial manipulation. We knew we needed to prepare. Kaizan's crystalline form pulsed with concern. Why didn't you alert the Federation when you first detected this threat? Would you have believed us? Chen asked simply, a primitive species claiming to have detected a threat to the entire universe. We needed to develop the technology to prove it first, and to fight it, if necessary. The holographic display shifted, zooming in on one of the tiers in space-time. The assembled representatives watched in horror as something seemed to move within the breach. Shapes that defied comprehension, energies that shouldn't exist in normal space. They're coming from what we call the void between universes, Chen explained. A space where the laws of physics as we know them don't apply. These entities, they consume reality itself. They've destroyed other universes before, and now they've found ours. The chamber erupted in panicked murmurs. Kaizan raised a limb for silence. You speak with great certainty about these things. How do you know all this? Chen's expression grew serious. Because we've been there. To the void. We've seen what they've done to other realities. She paused, letting that sink in. Our quantum technology didn't just let us communicate across space. It let us perceive other dimensions, other universes. We saw them falling, one by one. The holographic display changed again, showing a vast network of human installations throughout the galaxy, installations that hadn't been there moments before. Their ships appeared simultaneously at strategic points across known space, revealing that humanity's presence was far greater than anyone had suspected. We've been building a defense network, Chen said, a way to strengthen the fabric of our reality against their intrusion. But it's not enough. We need the Federation's help. Your understanding of stable galactic civilization, your established networks, your different perspectives on science and technology. And if these entities break through, someone called from the assembly. Then we fight, Chen replied firmly. Humanity has developed weapons that can harm them, weapons that operate on principles beyond conventional physics, but we'd rather prevent the invasion than face it. She turned to face the Supreme Counselor directly. This is why we revealed ourselves now. This is why we showed you our technology. Not to threaten or impress, but because we need to work together. The void entities don't just threaten Earth or the Federation. They threaten everything, every planet, every species, every reality. The assembly hall fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity hadn't developed their incredible technology out of simple scientific curiosity or ambition. They'd done it out of necessity, driven by the knowledge of an approaching threat that no one else had even perceived. Kaizen moved forward, their crystalline form glowing with determination. "How much time do we have?" "The breaches are growing faster now," Chen replied. "We estimate months, perhaps a year at most. But with the Federation's help, we might be able to." She stopped abruptly as new alerts flashed across the holographic display. The energy patterns were shifting, the tiers in reality expanding at an unprecedented rate. Whatever was coming, it wasn't waiting anymore. "No," Chen whispered, her composure cracking for the first time. "They're adapting. They've sensed our preparations." She looked up at the assembled representatives, her eyes hard with resolve. "We're out of time. The void entities are coming now." Throughout known space, reality itself began to crack, and the Federation faced a stark choice. Trust this enigmatic human species and their incredible technology, or face the approaching darkness alone. The void entities emerged like living darkness, their forms twisting through tiers in spacetime across the galaxy. Federation worlds watched in horror as reality itself seemed to unravel around these cosmic invaders. But humanity was ready. "Activate the quantum matrix." Director Chen's voice rang through every communication channel in Federation space. Instantly, thousands of hidden human installations blazed to life, their energy signatures connecting across vast distances to form a complex web of quantum-entangled defenses. Supreme Counselor Kaizen stood beside Chen in Earth's primary defense center, watching as holographic displays showed the battle unfolding across multiple dimensions simultaneously. "Your species planned for this moment for decades," they observed, their crystalline form reflecting the chaos of the tactical displays. "We had to," Chen replied, her fingers dancing across control interfaces that seemed to respond to thought as much as touch. "What we're about to attempt has never been done before, not in this universe or any other we've observed." The human quantum network pulsed with impossible energy as their ships and stations synchronized their efforts. Federation vessels, guided by hastily installed human quantum interfaces, moved into position alongside Earth's forces. The void entities, sensing the resistance, began to concentrate their assault. "They're attacking the quantum matrix points," reported Admiral Hannah Patel, her hologram appearing beside Chen. "Multiple breaches detected in sectors 7 through 12. But the Federation ships are responding beautifully. They're adapting to our tactical protocols faster than we predicted." Chen nodded, a hint of pride crossing her face. The Federation ships might lack humanity's advanced technology, but their crew's experience in coordinated fleet actions was proving invaluable. "Begin Phase 2, she ordered. Across the galaxy, human installations activated their reality anchors, devices that had been secretly placed at strategic points throughout Federation space. These machines began to emit fields that strengthened the local fabric of spacetime, making it harder for the void entities to maintain their presence in normal space. "Remarkable," Kaizen breathed as they watched the entities struggle against the combined human Federation defense. "Your technology doesn't just fight them. It reinforces the fundamental laws of our universe against their influence. That's why we needed to work together," Chen explained as she coordinated the defense. "Our technology provides the means, but the Federation's established presence throughout the galaxy gave us the perfect framework to deploy it. We couldn't have achieved this coverage alone, not in time." But the void entities weren't retreating. Instead, they began to merge, combining into larger, more powerful forms that pushed against the quantum matrix with increasing force. Reality groaned under the strain of their assault. "The matrix is holding," Admiral Patel reported, "but we're detecting unusual energy patterns. They're trying something new." Suddenly, the tactical displays flared with warning signals. The void entities had discovered a new attack vector. They were attempting to corrupt the quantum matrix itself, turning humanity's greatest defense into a potential liability. "They're more adaptable than we anticipated," Chen muttered, her fingers flying across the controls. "We need to end this now." She turned to Kaizen. "Supreme Counselor, we're about to attempt something unprecedented. Your ships need to be ready to move the moment we give the signal. Kaizen nodded, their form pulsing with determination. Orders were relayed throughout the Federation fleet, positioning them in a complex pattern that mirrored the human quantum matrix. What we've shown you so far, Chen announced to all ships, was just the foundation. Our quantum technology doesn't just let us manipulate reality. It lets us rewrite its local rules entirely. We're going to create a cascade effect, using the void entity's own corruption attempt against them. The human installations began to pulse with new energy patterns, their quantum fields shifting in ways that made even the advanced sensors of the Federation ships struggle to comprehend. The void entities, sensing the change, tried to withdraw, but it was too late. Now, Chen commanded. In an instant, every human installation and ship activated their quantum drives simultaneously. The combined effect rippled through space-time like a shockwave of pure causality. Where it touched the void entities, they began to dissolve, their impossible forms unable to maintain coherence in a universe whose laws were being actively reinforced against them. The Federation ships, positioned perfectly, acted as amplifiers for the effect, their conventional drives creating resonance patterns that strengthened the quantum cascade. The void entities, caught in this web of reinforced reality, were forced back through their breaches. Seal the tears, Chen ordered, and the quantum matrix shifted again. Its energy now focused on healing the wounds in space-time. One by one, the breaches closed, reality knitting itself back together under the guidance of human technology and Federation coordination. As the last breach sealed, a profound silence fell over the galaxy. The void entities were gone, forced back into their between space by the combined efforts of humanity and the Federation. Kaizen turned to Chen, their crystalline form glowing with newfound respect. Your species never intended to challenge the Federation's authority, did you? You were preparing for this all along. Chen smiled tiredly. We knew we couldn't face this threat alone. The Federation's greatest strength isn't its technology. It's the stability and cooperation you've fostered among diverse species. We didn't want to rule the galaxy. We just wanted to save it. Throughout Federation space, ships began to power down from battle stations. The crisis was over, but its implications were just beginning to sink in. Humanity had proved itself not just technologically advanced, but wise enough to seek cooperation rather than dominance. Perhaps, Kaizen suggested, it's time to redesign the Federation's structure. A new council, where humanity's insights can help guide us all toward a future even we hadn't imagined possible. Chen nodded, looking out at the stars. Stars that would continue to shine thanks to the unity forged in crisis. Together, she agreed, we can prepare for whatever else is out there. After all, the void between universes is vast, and we've only begun to understand its mysteries.